Hello, it's Sean. Today I'm going to be playing a game of The Walking Dead All-Out War. I'm going to be using the Prelude to Woodbury expansion with the solo deck. We're going to be playing the first scenario in the book, which is basically a little just learning scenario. I've got the governor down here. There are 3 walkers on the board. That's a 10 by 10 board. And then there are 3 supply tokens on the board. My goal is to collect all those supply tokens and not die in the process. You can see I have extra zombies back here as they appear in the game. So those are all ready to go. And I'm not going to go over all the rules. There's pretty good videos out there for the rules of The Walking Dead. The solo game is played pretty much the same. The really big exceptions are each turn the threat tracker ticks up one level each turn, and then anytime you move a walker, it just moves towards the closest survivor. So there's no moving people away from you in this one. Alright, I'm using the solo event deck, and for this scenario we take out any cards that don't have this symbol in the corner. So that means I've pulled out 5 cards out of this deck. And this is my first real game, so I might get some rules wrong. If you see anything wrong, please put them in the comments and I'll try to make note of those. Hopefully I won't make too many mistakes though. So, here we go. Alright, so Brian is going to activate, and he is just going to sneak towards this walker. So he can move 4 inches towards it. I don't want to run because I'll be activated, or I'll engage him, and I don't want somebody else to come join the fight. I'm going to try to take one out at a time here, or at least take one out. So I'm not going to do anything for his second activation. So now it's the events phase. Each zombie will attack anybody that's within their kill zone. This is the only one that has somebody within his kill zone, so he's going to move directly at him and engage him in combat. Now I'm going to draw an event card. And it's roamers, all quiet, and I'm at the all quiet level. Move 1 eligible walker towards the nearest survivor. So, didn't work out quite like I planned. So she's within range, so she is going to shamble into me. So now I'm facing 2 walkers. And that's the only thing that happened from that event card. Now we move into the melee phase. We have 1 engagement, so the threat's going to tick up 1 space, so we're at threat 2. You'd split the combatants so that there's equal numbers on each side. If you can, it's 1 on 2, so there is no adjustment made there. So the walkers are going to get 3 dice because there are 2 of them fighting me, and then I'm going to give 1 white die for my melee value. And I could do defense, but at this point I just don't think that's a useful plan because I've got to kill him. So I might be wrong about that, but that's okay. So these are for the zombies. And the zombies rolled 3 and a bite. And here's my attack. I rolled 1. So that reduces it to 2. But the bite is going to cause an extra point of damage. So I just took 3 points of damage. This might be a really short game. Alright. I lost combat, so I pushed back an inch. And that is that. In the end phase, we would roll for each prone walker to stand up. There are none. We would roll for a bitten model, which I am bitten because of that bite. We don't have any end of turn effects, and I haven't picked up the tokens, so the game continues. So threat ticks up 1 at the end of the round because it's a solo game. Alrighty. So I am going to activate, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a run. And I'm going to run around these guys. That's 2. I'll be just shy of that. I'm trying to face these things though. Facing doesn't matter, I just think it looks better. Alright, so he ran, so the closest model within 10 inches is going to shamble towards him. And one of them will be engaged with me. And that is the activation phase. So nobody was within the fire zone, so there isn't any of that. For the event phase, we'll draw an event card. Distracted. The walkers suddenly stop. Nothing else happens. Well, that's a good thing for me. So none of the walkers activate right now. I've just got the one that's in combat with me. So it's now the melee phase. So first thing is we're going to bump up the threat level because there is melee combat going on. It's a little bit more even fight this time though, so the walker gets 1 red die and Brian gets 1 white die. So we'll roll. We're tied. The survivors always win ties. So the zombie's going to be pushed back and knocked down. I didn't roll at the end of the turn. I should have, for being bitten. So I believe that on a blank when you're bitten, you lose another point of health. Let me check to make sure that's right. Yep, so Brian is down to 1 wound. He is taking a beating so far. So that was the melee phase. In the end phase of this turn, he gets to roll again, and that might be game over because he's dead. Nope, he's good. He just passed, so he's alright. That zombie has a chance to stand up, so we'll roll. And the zombie stands up, because I rolled the shield. So, I think that's it for the end phase. Turn 3. So Brian has activation. So we're in the low threat now. I think he is going to just go ahead and move backwards. And he is going to search the token. Maybe he'll get something that'll be useful for him in the combat that he's about to engage. Tire iron. That's actually really nice. So now he gets 2 white dice in his for his close combat rolls. That will be very helpful. So that was his 2 activations. Now the event phase happens. I don't think I ticked that up in the second turn, so it should be at 5, because every turn it ticks up in the end phase. So, in the events phase, this zombie is going to step forward into him because of the kill zone. And we're going to draw. Drew roamers, and it's low threat, so move 1 eligible walker towards the nearest survivor. And we're going to have another 2 zombies on 1 survivor here. Alright, so there is a combat, so in the melee phase we're going to step the threat tracker up 1. The zombies get 3 dice again, but Brian gets 2 white dice this time. So we'll roll the zombies first. And we've got 2 and a bite. And then Brian has got 4, so he wins, which is great. So the bite is ignored because he's already bitten. But he's going to push them both back an inch, and they're both going to get knocked over. So, very lucky for him. Alright, so it's the end phase. We're going to roll for him for the bite to see if he takes another. And it's blank. So he loses another health. Brian has a special rule. It's called Tenacious. So when Brian loses his last wound, roll a black die, and on a shield, he remains in play. So we're going to roll that, and he remains in play. So he still has one wound because of his Tenacious roll. Now we're going to roll for these two zombies. We're going to roll this one, see if she stands up. She does not, and then that, they're not zombies, they're walkers, sorry. And he is going to stand up. So, that is the end phase. Back to the action phase. Brian is going to move over here. Let's see, how far? He's going to sneak. He's just going to go right there. Brian is going to try to do the hold nerve action. So if I roll a shield on this, I get to reduce the threat by 1. And he does. So I don't want to get it too high up here. It'll make the game end very quickly if I do that. So that's his 2 activations. I don't think anybody is in kill zones right now, so that's good. So there isn't any movement for the kill zones. We're going to draw an event card. And we've got Frayed Nerves. So we're at the low threat level. One model with low nerve of the player's choice creates noise. If there are no eligible models, add 1 to the threat level. So his nerve is medium. There is nobody with low, so we're just going to add 1 to the threat level. We don't have a melee phase this turn, so we're going to skip down to the end phase. This prone walker here, we're going to see if it stands up, and it does. And then Brian, of course, is bitten, so we're going to roll to see. So he takes one from being bitten, and now he's going to roll for his Tenacious, and he goes back. So he is still in the game, and we're still moving on. So, back to the activation phase. Solo game, so we're going to tick that up 1. First thing he's going to do is search this marker. Let's see what we get. Bandages. Discard this card as an action to restore 1 health point lost earlier in the game. Well, that's pretty nice. So, he is... He's going to use that right now. No, he's not. He's going to move. He's going to sneak to this other token, and he can get there. Just be touching it. So that's his 2 activations. So we have the events phase. First up, you check kill zones, and nobody is within kill zone. So we're going to draw an event card. So immediately we're going to add +1 threat, and this is the hunger. We're in low threat, so move 1 eligible walker towards the nearest survivor. So this guy is the closest. He's clearly within range, so he is going to shamble, and engage him in combat. So now we're in the melee phase. We do have melee, so we're going to tick this up. So now it's medium threat. So these cards are going to get a lot worse now. And we're going to fight. There's only 1 zombie, so he gets just 1 die. And Brian gets 2 white dice because he has the iron, the tire iron. So I've got 2 versus a blank. So I'm going to push this guy back. And he's going to get knocked down. And that's it for the melee phase. Brian's not been very lucky with the headshots, so he's not killing off these zombies, but I also haven't had any new ones show up yet, so that's good as well. So now is the end phase. We're going to roll to see if this guy stands up, and he does not. We're going to roll for Brian to see if he takes his last wound. He does take the wound. And so now we're going to roll his Tenacious to see if he stays in the game, and he does. So he is fighting off that infection, but I feel like he is short for this world, so we'll see how it goes. He only needs to grab that token, and that's the end of this scenario. Alright, it's back to the activation phase. He is going to search this token, and he's going to look, see what he finds, and he finds an ammo reload. He doesn't have any guns, so that's not a huge deal, but I guess it would go in his backpack. And that completes this scenario because he has found all of the, or searched all of the tokens on the board. So again, this is just a very quick scenario, kind of to learn the mechanics of the game. It works pretty easy. This scenario is a very small board. The normal scenarios, I think, play out on a 20 by 20 board. And some of the solo ones here, though, they play on a 15 by 15 board, which is kind of small, but it'll work all right. That is my first playthrough of The Walking Dead All Out War. This is part of my 6x6 game challenge. So the goal is to play 6 games 6 times during the year, and this is the first time for playing The Walking Dead All Out War. Hopefully I'll have more games that we can learn more about how the mechanics work, play bigger games, more involved, and we'll see how this game plays out. I've enjoyed painting the models so far. I've got some videos up on how I painted them if you're interested in seeing that. I've made a little bit of terrain for this as well, which you'll see in future videos. And I enjoyed the comics when I read them. I haven't read all of them, but I read some of the early ones. I've watched some of the show, and that's fun too. So that's what kind of drew me to this game. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this and the other projects that I work on, you can subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if I did any of the rules wrong, which happens to be the case most of the time when I do these playthroughs, go ahead and put those in the comments below so I can learn and try not to make the same mistakes in future games. Thanks for watching.